Hi, how's it going? It's Joe, the founder of the Renaissance Man Show. You are watching that right now. I wanted to introduce this guy. His name is Chris Long. He is a potter here in Austin, Texas. Also a musician who plays an interesting kind of rock that we talk about in the interview. So I wanted to go ahead and show you the interview, give you a little intro right now. So you know exactly what this is about. You meet at his house, and it's kind of interesting. So I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and subscribe. I know that you guys go ahead and share this with your friends. You probably want to.
Das ist Gold.
Hey, what's going on? Good to see you.
Oh.
Drinking some tea?
Huh?
Drinking some tea?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Drink a lot of that shit.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's kind of like green tea, but
Yeah,
not. Really?
Yeah, it's just
Oh.
got caffeine.
Nice.
Hikes is sponsored by Guayaki.
What's sponsored by Goyalki?
Hikes, my band.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, there goes
Kitty cat.
Hey, kitty.
You have a way with cats. I think I saw the post about that cat.
Yeah, it's been hanging out for a little while now. It had been around for a few days before last time I saw you.
Crazy.
Yeah, he just hangs out here.
Nice.
Got his box. Yeah, this is the studio.
Ooh. Hope you don't mind I'm filming this.
Oh, you're filming right now?
Yeah, is that cool? I just thought it would be cool to get a little bit of B-roll and just random stuff.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Nice. Planners.
Yeah, they're like little succulent planters.
Okay. For like
Yeah.
Because succulent, I used to get so confused because succulent meant it was like it tasted sweet or rich.
Oh yeah, succulent's like an adjective as well as like, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you got around this thing? Is that like
Hot glue.
hot glue?
I actually had a contest to see if somebody could guess what it was made of, and for a shout out in my next video.
To like help it stop it from getting hurt.
Also, yeah, that, and also to connect it to there.
I don't know.
Otherwise, I would just have to like tape it on, and that's just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Word. Yeah. I mean, this is.
It's kind of cool to see. What's the cone 6?
That's a temperature range.
Okay.
So a cone is how you gauge temperature, basically.
Sure.
It's just a cone-shaped thing that melts at a certain temperature. So there's, you know, it's just a.
So you know when it's real and stuff.
Yeah. Well, because it's.
So you know when it's that temperature.
Yeah.
And so you don't make a mistake.
It's hard to measure temperature that high electronically. It's usually like about 100 degrees off or so, but it's like wiggly. It's hard. Because when you know. Cone 6 is like 2200 degrees.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, so it's hard to like measure that electronically. You know, I'll have like a thermocouple in there that'll tell me
Yeah.
roughly what temperature it is. And at lower temperatures, it's much more, it's much more spot on. Yeah, when it gets up there, and so that way, those cones will melt at exactly a temperature. So that way,
there's no guessing.
Yeah, it's kind of, for a lot of kilns, it's like a safeguard because they'll have it shut off automatically when it reaches a certain temperature. But then that, like,
Do you mind if I take this chair and
over here? Yeah, we can do it in here.
Hell yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
It just makes sense to do it.
I don't know if you want to do it in here in my room. I got all my pottery set up in there. If you wanted to see all
let's just do it in your room then.
Yeah, there's more space.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is maybe more visual. I don't know. Look at both of them and see which one you like.
I'll do a little bit of visual in here.
Yeah.
I'll make it like a B-roll thing. Boop.
The current stuff is stuff we made in the past few days.
Yeah. That's kind of cool how you did this right here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, those little swirly guys. I got a lot of those inside. You can see here in a minute.
Okay. And then you have the famous topographical stuff.
Oh yeah, there'll be a lot more of that inside too.
So where's the wheel? The potter's wheel?
Oh, right here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, since space is pretty limited, so I use it as a table half the time.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it's not a very big building, but I built what I could.
What's that? That's a speaker.
This here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's just a radio.
Okay. Crayon thing.
Yeah.
What's crayon thing?
Thing I was trying to do with the crayon. It's just like because they're wax, so it'll resist glazes. So I was trying to decoration with it.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's got potential.
I see what you mean by the stage thing in the backyard.
Yeah.
You just built the stage. That's kind of cool. The stages.
Yeah, I've been doing a little workout here already, kind of like getting ready for South by.
Yeah.
Because there's gonna be like 60 bands playing.
Wow.
And
yeah, that's a lot.
There's Kitty.
Hey, wait, where?
In the box.
Oh, hey, Kitty. You're so cute and stuff. Yeah, she's fuzzy. Whose wig is that?
Oh, that's been up there for a while. I think it's fucking gross.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, we can also do it in here.
Oh shit. I like us to set up.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you got a lot of stuff in here. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. It's a functional space.
Yeah, I see that. Then you got some sewing stuff. I have a similar set. I don't remember where I got it though. I think it was like HEB or something.
This works like. I mean, this is kind of cool with all the pottery back here. That's kind of cool backdrop.
One of us could just sit on the edge of the bed and the other one could be in the chair.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool. Let me see. Actually, is there any way you could close the blinds?
Oh, yeah.
Just because the light in the back might throw it off. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that should be perfect framing. And then I'll just put this. This is recording now. That records audio, but it's not great. So
the GoPro, yeah.
Yeah, so I just got new batteries for this. So this.
Groovy.
Yeah, this one. This is like left and right, and then I'll just make it mono, so it's not confusing.
You know what?
What's up? What?
Actually, I can put this on a tripod, like right in the middle of us, if you want. I don't know if that'd be better.
It wouldn't. Actually, what I could do, it doesn't really matter, really. But I have like a small tripod on the table. The reason
That's
is
what I was grabbing from over there, but it fell back.
The reason is because it would be better if it's over here because it's pointed at us.
No shit.
Yeah, it's actually not great for the purpose I'm using it for, because it's more of like a wide area. It's actually great for live music, but not great for directed conversation. So it's actually not ideal for what I'm using it for. But I could do this. I don't know if that would help or not, but
I don't know.
It looks cooler. So.
Yeah, that was the thing I was trying to grab, but it fell back.
Oh, well, yeah, I appreciate that then. I thought you meant like in the middle, like here.
No, I had one over there too that I was thinking of doing that with, but I don't know what the fuck I'm doing when it comes to microphones.
It's just pretty simple. You just want the microphones to point at you. That's it. Yeah. Cool. So I'm going to do a little clap so that I can sync this.
There you go.
You know how to do that. You know what that's for, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, syncing the audio.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing take 2. I didn't really look to see how much.
One get?
I didn't check. I was just like, well, I want to do more video anyway, so I might as well. We don't necessarily have to go over the exact same stuff, but I think if we did a genuine, authentic conversation, we'll hit cool things, whether it's the same stuff or new stuff or not.
There's always lots to talk about.
Yeah, totally. So I'm here with Chris Long. You guys know me. I'm going to do another intro. So I've already done an intro for Chris before this. So I did a little intro, and then now this is after the intro. So we met at ABGB.
Yeah.
I saw an ABGB mug in front of your door, by the way, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I accidentally took one of them home with me when I did a market there like a few years ago. But
I won't tell anybody.
Yeah, well, it's public knowledge now.
That's true. That's true. I don't think they'll be coming knocking at your door.
Nah, they're chill. It was an accident anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, ABGB's cool. I'm doing another show there on Sunday.
Oh, cool.
I'm doing there like once a month or so.
There's like every month there's one?
Yeah, Austin Flea does
one.
Oh, shit. And they like
nice.
bounce around. And
yeah, just for people who don't know, ABGB is a brewery nearby.
Austin Beer Garden and Brewery.
Yep. Big garden.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
Yeah. And so I went there one day. It was really cold, and I wanted to get some craft into my life, and so I decided to look at craft shows, and lo and behold, there was one that day. So I went on I think it was a 300 bus that stopped right there, and you were there.
Yep.
Before you went to Mexico.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was like the day before I left.
Wow, that's intense. You're probably really excited to go to Mexico.
Yeah, that was definitely on the brain.
On the brain.
That's kind of
right.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of times how people will find me. I'll be like, yeah, I'm leaving for tour tomorrow. And I cannot. And sometimes it's like a sales tactic. Cause I'm like, I'm out of money. You gotta buy art from me so I can go on tour. But not so directly.
No, but it acts as that whether you're trying to or not.
Yeah.
People like helping other people do something cool.
Word. And it acts like that in my life too, because we'll get money in on a tour, but like afterwards, going in.
I mean, do you get paid before or like after? So if you're booked in Guadalajara, do you get paid before you go, or do you get paid after you perform?
Oh, afterwards.
Afterwards.
Yeah, you get paid after you.
Are they ever weird about it? Like, I don't want to really pay you.
Well, usually there's like kind of a contract going on.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, people can be weird about it. Like we've had, there's shitty people everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, there was a venue in Mexico that stole a bunch of door money.
Oh shit.
And kind of flexed on us, and was like, "Yeah, nothing you can do about it." And we're like, "Yeah, we're a bunch of scared little white boys." Like, you are correct. I guess I wasn't there for it.
Yeah.
But I remember hearing about it, and I was like, "Damn, yeah, I guess it'd just be like that, huh?"
Yeah, it's kind of shitty.
And yeah, every once in a while a venue will pull some shit, but I don't know. It's not,
Not
like,
usually.
Yeah, because like
it's just
that happens,
part of the deal.
Yeah, and if that type of shit happens in the U.S., like we have leverage, then we can put the venue on blast and be like,
nobody go here because this happens.
Yeah, and so people don't usually do that. It's a two-way street.
Yeah. Over there, it's there's enough in the culture that if you said that, well, half the places do that anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not a huge deal.
And from the other like Mexican bands we were touring with, they were kind of like, yeah, you gotta be careful. Like, it just seems like the kind of thing. I don't want to generalize in any way, but
it's definitely more dangerous. I mean, I went to Colombia and I was completely fucking broke one day, and I'm like, okay, well, let me go over to hostels and see if I can trade graphic design skills for going to places. And I went to a place called the Tropica Hostel. And made a deal, and he ended up being like, well, he promised 5 days, and then ended up being like, well, we don't really know if we want to keep you for 5 days because we don't know if you're an actual graphic designer. And I'm like, well, I am, and I need you to decide now. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, I'll decide tomorrow when I'm with my wife. And it was just this whole big deal where he essentially didn't keep up what he promised. And then the next day, he was like, okay, well, give me what you have so far. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna give you what we have so far because you didn't hold up your end of the bargain, and he tried to physically fight me.
Oh man.
And then he threatened to pay the police to have me arrested, which, knowing his status in that barrio, that he could have done that easily.
Yeah. Shit works differently down there.
Yeah. So I got into that situation.
Yeah, that's gnarly.
No, but it happens. But have you had any experiences like that in the U.S. or?
A venue didn't pay us in Laredo, but like they went under. Like,
okay.
And Laredo's basically Mexico, anyways.
Yeah.
No, not really.
No. Have you played places other than countries other than U.S. and Mexico?
Yeah. We've toured Japan twice.
Ooh.
We had.
I think you were telling me about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Briefly. They're probably really good, really honest and upfront about things. I've heard.
Oh yeah. I mean, nobody's really fucking anybody over.
Yeah.
Over there, it's like one of the safest. It is like the safest place. Like, man, I've seen videos of like people leaving like money on the ground and stuff, and just like it's a time lapse video of people like walking around it, or like a phone or like a wallet or something.
Yeah.
No, you get that vibe when you're there.
It's
crazy.
Like,
it's a really safe place. People show respect, and that was one of the things that's really cool with the show culture. There is people that come to the shows, how much respect they show. How they take their role as a crowd like really seriously. It's really awesome. They're like super attentive, and quiet, and it's almost surreal because you're so used to like in America everybody's got
something to say
shit constantly. Anytime there's a quiet bit in the song, cause our songs will fluctuate quite a bit from loud to quiet.
Yeah.
And I always there are like parts in songs where I'm like, all right, now we're gonna hear what the fucking crowd has to say because everyone starts talking, and everyone's just drunk and a lot of times people will be talking about the music, but it's like watch it while it's happening, talk about it fucking afterwards. Yeah. But no, in Japan, like everyone really is in it, and it's real cool. But no problems with venues. Everything is like. You work really closely with them, actually, because you're at the venue all day. You get there at, like, 1 p.m.
The setup.
Every single band does a sound check. The whole show basically happens in reverse before the show.
Huh.
So
makes if there's any issues.
Yeah, but, like, you work really close with the venue, and, like, before they do the doors, like, there's this big powwow kind of thing with everybody. The sound people, the door people, engineer, like, everybody who has any role to play in the production of the show.
It kind of sounds like high school plays that I was in.
Oh, word.
And probably, like, higher end plays, too, but I wasn't in any of those, so it's probably similar.
But it was cool, everybody would get on the same page, and, like, everyone would, like, also all the bands would, like, introduce each other. I didn't know anyone was saying, because I was talking Japanese. And, we had, like, somebody kind of do it for us, and we were like, oh, hey. I don't know. But it was cool to, like, energetically kind of get on the same page with everyone. So no venues were fucking anyone over there. Yeah. And,
I've heard a lot about the respect in the culture.
Man, it's a cool place.
Unless you have tattoos, then you're part of the Yakuza.
Oh, yeah. You can't go to, like, the onsens and stuff. There's certain ones
apparently,
you can go to.
Like, I think some you can, like, put a Band-Aid over it, and then you're cool.
Yeah, there are a few that are, like, chill with it, but it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Cool. So you've toured in Mexico, you've toured in the U.S., you've toured in Japan,
and UK, and then Alaska, which is effectively a different country. It's a different world.
It's so far too.
Yeah. And Canada.
Mm-hmm. What have you learned from that travel? How has that travel affected you as a person?
Oh, that's like enormously. I mean, it's expanded my like perspective to such a big degree. I think that's like one of the most important things you could do as a person is like go see other places. It teaches you a lot. I feel like it's put me in my place in a lot of ways, and I don't know. I love going around. That's like, like I was saying, I think it's one of the most important things you can do. It makes me feel more like connected to myself and alive. Like when I'm here doing pottery and stuff, it's like repetitive, and there's something to be said about that. Like that's cool. I like there's a part of me that does like thirst for a routine, but then when it's a touring kind of situation, keeps you more in the moment, and there's a very big part of me that like is after that as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know, seeing other cultures just shows you where you're at, and kind of, I don't know, shuts you up a bit. It makes me listen more and like pay more attention and like be more absorbent.
So those new ideas come into your experience, and then it changes how you think about the old experience.
Yeah.
One of the ways I like to describe it to people is that I learned much more about my own culture here in America from seeing other cultures and the contrast.
Oh yeah.
And there's so much difference. Like, for instance, when I went to Israel, the only advertisements I saw on billboards were for either Coke or Pepsi or local malls. And other than that, I did not see any billboards. Now, I could have been like sleeping in the tour bus, which I was sometimes, but I was pretty attentive and attentive to that kind of thing, and it was like, it really gave me what I would call a detox from advertising.
Oh yeah.
From people trying to get you to think this way or that way or this way or that way. In Israel, you're given a lot more freedom.
That's cool.
And I mean, there's also things that are worse over there than over here. But one of the things that I really appreciated was that I think it was because there's so much external pressure on the country, everyone inside is cohesive, no matter how much they disagree with each other. You could be completely honest with your neighbor and completely disagree with one of his deeply set beliefs, and you'd have a discussion.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get angry at each other and fight each other, because the moment that the culture inside Israel breaks down, the people trying to invade Israel get in. You know, they can't be weak.
It gives them more of a sense of camaraderie and
stuff.
Yeah.
And here we don't have that danger.
No, for sure.
The external danger, at least.
Yeah, so we're just passive aggressive all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's definitely a thing with like places where there's way more hardship and like outside pressure like that. Like Cuba, like the way they dealt with like.
You said you went there, right?
No, I've never been to Cuba. I'd love to go.
Yeah.
But just how they had to like take care of themselves and this like sense of community and unity that it created within the country. I saw some little documentary about it. I was like, dang.
It's fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they opened it up right like that. The few months where the embargo was lifted, and you can go there.
Is it still lifted?
No. I mean,
really?
you could probably go there if you like have family there or like very specific reasons. But Trump put it back down. I mean, he locked it down.
I didn't even know that.
But apparently like all the cars are from the 50s.
Yeah.
And everything's built like in the 50s, and it's just kind of like a time capsule, which I mean, obviously for them it's not great. For a tourist, it's really cool to see and a cool experience. I mean, of course you gotta respect the fact that it's not like, you know, for them they're essentially living in poverty. It's what they know, so they're not necessarily frustrated about it, but they probably are, because there's not really too much food to go, there's not much money to go around, etc. But at the same time, it's cool to see kind of like what that's like, having just only 50s cars, like a movie set around.
Yeah, I bet that's kind of surreal being there and seeing that.
I've heard.
But yeah, I'm just interested in like how that, like kind of like them against the world sort of mentality that they had to be feeling. I know it like brought them together in a sense, or like unified them in a way, and I think that's kind of cool. I mean, community effort's like the coolest thing ever, and I know it was like a real, it was a really shitty situation for them. I don't know, the little documentary I watched was like super inspiring about like, you know, the power of working together and all that stuff. I'd love to see Cuba.
Yeah, it'd be really cool to see. I'm pretty sure. Well, I mean, it depends what happens in this upcoming election, but the embargo is not going to last forever, especially since there's already that precedent of it being lifted. I'm sure it'll be easy to lift it again.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea.
Sure. I didn't really do too many visuals on your stuff except for the little intro, but that was shitty, like lighting and all that stuff. So I'd like to, if you don't mind, talk about some of your stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is the pottery here.
Yeah.
Oh. This is oh yeah, bring that in.
Yeah, here. So I'm gonna just do a little twisty thing.
Spin it around. Yeah, that's the topographic stuff. You know, I've been in different iterations of that for the longest time. That's kind of been.
And you gave me the incense burner, which I've been using, by the way.
Oh, nice.
And that has some topographic stuff too.
Right. Yeah.
That's a pretty cool one.
Yeah, I've been on that topography for a long time. I'm always exploring with other things, you know, like think I brought one of these over last time.
You did, yeah.
It's probably this one. This is the best one.
I kind of like the one with the dots, though.
Like the dots?
I like the dots. I'm going to show you these dots. So this is wax? This is like the candle? I mean, the crayon?
No, that's not a crayon. That's like a big old pan of melted wax that I paint on.
So he paints on this wax and then puts the glaze on, and then the wax is not on, so the glaze is not on the place where the wax was. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and then it melts off in the firing.
Yeah. So do you just play with it and then find something like, oh, this would be really cool to do?
I don't know. They're just kind of designs that I've been doing different iterations of over the years. Like, I don't know, circles work with anything, man.
Yeah.
And especially for some kind of like, with most the pottery decoration stuff that I do, it's got to be a kind of like mindless flow state sort of situation, and circles lend themselves really easily to that. I mean, most of the topographic stuff is just wiggly circles around wiggly circles.
That's true.
But
and I think on the one that you gave me, there's like an X in a place.
Yeah,
like,
I put an X on all of them.
It's you do? Okay.
Yeah, kind of a little. I don't know. Just
yeah,
a little, it's
like
a little thing.
Treasure map.
Gives it a focal point, you know.
But we talked about how you did those, and we might go over that again. But how do you do these? I'm really curious. I hope you don't mind me just.
No, yeah, go for it. They're meant to be Dutch. That's just different colored clays. So it's like a porcelain cup, and so I'm making different colored porcelain clays with stains.
Oh, okay. And the masonry stains.
Mason stains, yeah. So they withstand the high temperature and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just
like
mixing
a dry
it in
powder you mix in, right?
Mixing that with the clays. When I throw it on the wheel, they swirl together in different ways.
That's so cool.
So yeah, you never really know
like
how
mixing
they're gonna turn
Play-Doh.
out.
Sort of.
Yeah, and so then it gets really cool. Do something like that, or like this, where it's like.
That's so cool.
That same idea, and then you take like a cheese slicer to it, and it pulls all the color down.
Oh, okay. So you like throw it, and then you slice it, and then piece it back together.
I don't piece it back together. That's just how it stays. But it pulls all those layers down with each other, kind of that cascade.
It's wet enough that it doesn't like completely separate.
Oh yeah, well I'm just taking a layer off of it. I'll throw it thicker than usual, and but yeah,
that's cool.
It's super fun.
Yeah, I can see that. I was actually just looking. Austin has this thing, this grant for artists. You can get once per year, and they'll give you $1,000 towards your development. I don't know if it's once per year. I think it's once per year, maximum, if they grant it. And you can apply every month, and then you get $1,000 towards like your continuing education as an artist, like you're furthering. And so, I want to learn bookbinding more, just because I've already started that skill. But I really want to go into pottery. So if like all the bookbinding classes that I want and stuff is less than $1,000, I'm going to use the rest of the grant to
do some
pottery. No, I'm going to be applying for it. But apparently it's, if you're an artist in Austin, especially if it's your first time applying, they'll give it to you pretty easy.
Oh shit, I didn't get on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me that information.
I will definitely will.
Yeah, that's one of the ongoing challenges with doing the shit for a living is continuing to bring money in to support the whole thing.
Yeah.
And live in general.
It's for I don't think it's for, you can't use it for materials, but I think you can use it for like memberships. As like I go to the hackerspace. If you have like you have a kiln here probably.
Oh yeah.
But if you were taking a class, then that would be a thing. I would still check and see if there's any way you could apply it to things you do. No, it's really not for materials. They're pretty specific about that, but there's probably something you can use it for.
I'm sure there's something.
Yeah. So so you're an artist, you're a musician, and you do pottery, which I think is pretty cool, and you travel.
Yeah.
So, are you from Texas?
Yeah.
Okay.
I grew up outside of Dallas. I've been here for like 10 years, 10 and a half years.
Mm-hmm.
But always lived in Texas.
Yeah. It's a huge state.
Second
wild. Biggest. If you count Alaska as a state.
Yeah.
So what's different about Alaska?
I mean, everything. At first, it feels like a whole nother planet with a whole well, we were there in the summertime.
Yeah.
And so the sun would set at like 11 p.m.
Wow,
and
that's crazy.
It's really that's a really surreal thing to experience for the first time. You never really got used to it. And then we started in Anchorage, and then the northernmost we got was Fairbanks.
Yeah. Which
that's like, that's getting close to the Arctic Circle, and the sun never actually like totally set there.
Wow.
It was like, it would still be bright in the sky at all times.
Wow.
And so it like went under the horizon at like, I don't know, it was like midnight or something, but then it's still like, it would just kind of cruise below the surface, and then it came back up at like, 2 or 3.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really wild.
Because if you think about it, like, you're tilted like that, and you're behind the sun here, but the curvature is such that it still, diffuses over the atmosphere right there.
Yeah, and that's a really surreal thing, and it's beautiful up there. Like, that can't be like understated, like overstated. Whatever. Yeah. It's amazing up there. Everything is like huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
And coming from somebody from Texas, that's big.
Yeah, and I mean, I had, even before we had been to Alaska, like, I had been all over, and I had been to Colorado, like, loads of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's just different texture,
Yeah.
Different texture to the overall landscape, but it's amazing. I, encourage everyone to go there. It's really something.
Sounds it. Yeah. Sounds pretty awesome. So, on our first recording, which was at the end, so that one definitely did not record, I asked you to if you had anything to say, if you wanted to share things with people, creative men who are looking to develop themselves, develop their craft.
Just men?
Huh?
Just men?
Women too, but like I find it important to speak to men because there's not a lot of people who help men get in touch with their masculinity and be men.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't know much. I don't got much to say about masculinity. I've never felt as an exceptionally masculine person. I don't know. It's hard to teach people to be vulnerable. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. But how do you? I don't know if I could say anything that would make anybody, other than just like listen to yourself. I don't fucking know. I mean, all art comes from like being vulnerable and like kind of listening to yourself and being in touch with yourself in ways like to different degrees. But I don't know. It's all just
opening
stuff.
Yourself up to something deeper.
I guess so, in whatever way that would apply to anyone. I mean, that's wiggly words. Opening yourself up to something deeper, that can mean anything. I don't know. Anything's just practice at the same time too. You gotta have the spark to want to do it, but a lot of it's just practice. But you're not gonna get anywhere if you're not like listening to yourself and like I don't know,
aware of your own motivations and emotions about things.
Yeah.
Reactions and stuff.
Something like that.
Cool.
I'm not good on advice though. I'm just more of like matter of fact about things. Like, if you want to do something, do it.
So you're more of like an action taker, just do it, and then you'll get better over time.
Yeah, I mean, you can distill it down to that real easily because it's just, most of it's just practice and doing it.
Yeah.
Rate times time equals distance. Like, things take time. Like, I feel like that's the biggest piece of advice I give to anyone is like, stick with it.
Yeah.
Everything is just like a waiting game and a mixture of like luck and like hard work. But I think that's what like brings people out of creative pursuits more than anything else, is like getting disheartened by it not working out. Like,
how long have you been doing pottery?
11 years.
Okay, yeah, that's a pretty significant amount of time.
Yeah.
Is it always been consistent, or like a couple years you're like, let me focus on this, focus on this?
I mean, it varies each year based on like how much we're playing shows, like how much Hikes is doing stuff.
Hikes is your band. I don't think we talked about that.
Yeah, Hikes. Yeah, it varies year by year, but now like I'm more than ever. Well, like kind of with both of them, honestly, because
you went to Mexico with them, and you're doing some stuff with South by, of course.
Yeah, we'll be touring a lot the rest of the year.
Nice.
Kind of after South by, and then we're putting out an album, soon after that. Like in the summertime, we'll be putting out a new album. Tentatively, I mean, it's not. There's still work to be done on it.
Yeah.
We're aiming for like August or something.
And I remember we talked about it last time, and you said it wasn't a perfect description, but if there was a way to describe your music, it would be art rock.
Oh yeah, but then I was like quick to say like that's a dumbass thing to call. That's a bad thing to say.
You're very quick to say that, so because I understand where you're coming from. Personally, I think that's a really cool name.
Yeah.
But I can understand when people who are into rock would not want to hear that.
I don't know. It just sounds silly.
Sure.
And it's just like it doesn't mean anything. Like that's such a big. But I mean that's the thing with genres in general. It's like, how are you gonna name a sound?
Yeah.
No, it's a loud band with quiet parts.
A loud band with quiet parts.
I don't know, man. It's like
Hikes.
experimental.
A loud band with quiet parts.
Yeah.
That's a great slogan.
Toss the word experimental around.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guitar tapping and like, we're lots of like various shredding. We're all but then it'll like pull back. It'll like kind of get loud and shreddy, and we're like showing off and doing ridiculous shit, and then it'll pull back down and be more it's like cohesive and like I don't know. It's the more I talk about it, the less it'll like the biggest thing you can do is just listen to it. That's what it sounds like. And
where can people listen to it?
Oh yeah, we call it felt rock.
Felt rock.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Where can people listen to Spotify? And
HIKES. And like, what's the emblem or like the album? How do they know it's you?
I don't know. I think there's a picture of us.
Okay. This dude.
We have
look for this dude.
We have a logo that's like these two snakes eating each other, and it makes like an infinity sign.
It's kind of cool.
I don't know if I have it. I have it around here somewhere.
I don't see it. I do see a lot of cool little posters. Oh, there you go. Well, there's like hikes, but with runic.
Oh yeah, that's
like that's the runic H right there. That's
Oh yeah.
Well, a new. It's actually not Old Norse. It's New Norse, but the other 4 letters are not Norse. That's cool.
Yeah, they just kind of aesthetically resemble it.
Yeah, aesthetically. Well, actually, that's not true. The eye is very similar to let me see if I can zoom into that. The eye is very similar to this is really far.
A tree.
Well, the T, a letter called Tyr in Old Norse. It doesn't have the second little hat in the bottom, but it's like an arrow pointing upwards, and it's called Tyr, that letter. Tyr, which is actually the name of a Norse deity, which is named after, and also the reason that we call Thursday.
No shit.
Well, yes, sort of. It's actually Thor, so I was wrong. No, Thursday is because Thor, I think. No, actually, it's not, because Thor is later. Thor is not Norse. It's an evolution of Norse. Odin and Thor are analogous. I think Thor is Roman. Thor and Zeus. Like, Zeus is Greek and Thor's Roman equivalent. And I'm pretty sure Odin is the Norse equivalent to Thor. I might be wrong about that. So Thursday might be Tyr. I know Friday is Freyr, who is like a Norse muse, kind of like a mystic, kind of like the Oracle of Delphi, but like Norse. And then Wednesday is actually Odin's day, and then it changed over time.
Word.
Crazy stuff. And then Monday, Sunday, that's obvious. Saturday, I don't know what that. Maybe I think that's for satyr. Satyr like a goat thing, man thing, like the devil.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that though, but etymologically it would make sense.
Oh, okay.
It's crazy, the names of our days.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You had lost me pretty early in.
That's cool. It's just I'm fascinated by where
the words come
from, where the sociology. Because I mean, think about it. We haven't been close to Norse history and Norse mythology. We haven't used that in our culture forever.
Yeah.
When did we come up with these names of the days. Back a long time ago, we had tales of why Thursday was like this, why Wednesday was like this. I mean, even the in the Torah, which Christians call the Old Testament, you have like on Saturday. Well, in Christianity it's Sunday, but on the Sabbath, the Shabbat, you rest, and then we start again. Then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like in 7 days. And there's that story, and then other cultures have different. It's just fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
But that's a complete thing. I wanted to thank you for coming on. If people want to see your pottery stuff, you have an Instagram from what I remember.
Oh yeah, Chris Long Ceramics.
At Chris Long Ceramics.
Yeah.
So, cheers. Thanks for watching, and subscribe. And don't be greedy. Your friends would like this too. So share it with them. Get them to subscribe too, and you can go through this journey together. Ciao. Woo. Bam.
Cool.
That was cool. I'm gonna turn this off.